Hello everyone, welcome back to MixBus TV mixing and mastering tutorials on YouTube. I'm your host David. Hope you're having a great day. In this video we're going to take a look at how to easily and quickly mix pop rock female vocals using Izotope Nectar 3 vocal processor and all its new feature including vocal assistant. So if you've seen the previous videos, the overview of Nectar 3, the new vocal processor by Izotope, you know I love this plugin. We've seen how to mix pop rock male vocals with this one. It worked amazing. And in this video, we're gonna mix female vocals using Nectar 3. For this example, I'm using a track by 5 to 10 called You Know, one of the most inspiring band, one of the greatest talent that I mixed a couple of years ago. She has a really powerful vocal, a really dynamic vocal, so we're gonna see how Nectar 3 reacts to that. I've already done a quick before and after just by using the default settings on Vocal Assistant and Unmask. So I'm gonna play you those two with and without. And then we're gonna just mix the vocals from scratch using Vocal Assistant and tweaking the modules.
It's happening outside. You see, but you don't face the real facts. You build a harmless chill around you. You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your game, your dreams, your fucking ass. Just like me, you know, sure that you can feel this is reality. Can shoot away.
Okay, that alone is pretty impressive. This was just Vocal Assistant suggestion and Unmask, with and without. I didn't touch anything else. So let's start from scratch, factory default, and this is the raw vocal and the instrumental is mixed. So this is perfect example. Let's hear it without.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can.
And granted, she's an amazing singer, but you can hear the part is very dynamic and, you know, it needs to be mixed. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is fire up Vocal Assistant, click Next, and the vibes, I'll leave it on modern, the intensity on moderate, click Next, and play the audio.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your game, your dreams, your fucking ass. You know, you are just like me. Look at the mirror now. It's just like me. You're scared, you favor blindness.
Okay, as you can see, Nectar 3 analyzed and applied processing, so we accept that and take a look at what we have in the module. First one is pitch correction is not activated, which is something that I like because, you know, in this case, she doesn't really need pitch correction at all. But if we need it, this is powered by Melodyne, so it's industry standard pitch correction. And this can also be used for, you know, effects.
You're scared, you favor blindness.
Okay, I'm just fucking around. We don't need pitch correction, but it's a great tool to have. And then we have the gate. Again, is not active in default, is something that I really like because gate is tricky on vocals. It can eat up bits and pieces. So the fact that it's not active by default is something that I like. We can activate it if we need it. Then we have the first EQ. It's a static EQ. You can see only cuts. So it's only subtractive EQ. Really intelligent. This AI actually works. Let's see what the corner notes are. Let's take a look at the spectrum analyzer.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your game, your dreams, your fucking ass.
Okay, in this case, you can see this frequency in between 2 and 3. Not just because we have a peak, it means that that is a bad frequency, okay? She actually has a lot of power in that 250 range. And we just have a couple of dB removes at 257 and 437. So, but in between...
You're scared, you favor blindness.
Okay, this is her tone.
You're scared, you favor blindness.
Okay, if we would remove this, or if the vocal assistant would have removed this, it would have removed the timbre of her vocals.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh and all around the teeth are mad.
You hear how bad it sounds? So I actually like this one.
You're scared, you favor blindness.
All subtle moves, 2 dB cuts. I like this, and there's just 2 dB cuts in these 4 frequencies. This is a no-brainer. It works well. Let's see the de-esser.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh and all around the teeth a mess.
This is pretty much okay. Maybe the threshold a little higher. Let's bypass it for a second.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh and all around the teeth a mess. You can, but you do nothing else.
It's actually, I'm gonna leave it like that. It doesn't need anything. Let's take a look at the dynamic EQ, the second EQ module.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh and all around the teeth a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your gain, your dreams, your fucking it.
Okay, I like it. I just lowered these 2 boosts a little bit, and I'm just gonna add something that we've seen Vocal Assistant did on the previous example, the male vocal, which is to have a flat bypass, but put it in dynamic mode and lock it to the frequency. So we remove the low end that we don't need in there for this female vocal, but we don't cut it statically. We don't take power away, but we go a little higher compared to the male vocal. We go, let's say 68. And I like the 12 dB slope.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh and all around the teeth a mess.
You know, this is a little too much. Maybe the vocal assistant was right. Let's try to do 6 and go 50.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh and all around the teeth a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at
Better, a lot better. Let's take a look at the compressor, which again, it might be a little too much.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh and all around the teeth a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your
Yeah, for my taste, it's a little too much. The ratio at 10, which seems where the vocal assistant seems to put it by default, or at least in these 2 examples, is a little too much. I want to try to go 5, and instead of solid state this time, I want to try vintage. We've seen in the previous example is a little rounder, and for her vocal, it might work better.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh and all around the teeth a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your gain, your dreams, your fucking it.
Yeah, I like it. I like it better. Let's try optical.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh and all around the teeth a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore.
No, I hear it pumping too much, so let's go back to the vintage. The digital is very bright. I don't like it for her vocal, but we have the ALM engaged. Auto Assistant automatically level the vocal before the processing. This, I noticed in the previous example, makes the vocals a little more upfront, which is something that I would like for the verses, so I would probably split this vocal, which originally it was split in verses and 2 tracks, verse and choruses. I just made 1 track for the purpose of the video, but let's try to disable the auto level mode.
Your scares, your fatal blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your gain, your dreams, your fucking ass. You know you are just like me. Look at the mirror now.
While her vocal is so different from verses to choruses, we really would need to split and do two different dynamic processing. But just for the sake of the video, we'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at 6-7 ratio, and we would automate the level. I like the LMF off in this case. Let's just add a little more reverb.
Your scares, your fatal blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your gain, your dreams, your fucking ass. You know you are just like me. Look at the mirror now. It's just like me.
Okay, that's good enough for this video. This reverb sounds really good. Like I said, we bandpass high and lows, and I took out a little bit here in this 4K range because when she goes high, the reverb gets a little too piercing. I'd adjust a little bit of saturation because why not? Its saturation can't be bad. Now, something that I want to try before the reverb, actually, that I haven't tried in the other example, the male vocal, is the dimension. Let me see what this chorus flanger phaser does.
Your scares, your fatal blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your gain, your dreams, your fucking ass. You know you are just like me. Look at the mirror now.
Again, I never like these kind of modulation on the channel itself. I always put them on a separate bus, but just for the sake, let's see if we can use this here.
Your scares, your fatal blindness. You laugh.
And there's too much difference. Let's activate the LM again.
Your scares, your fatal blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your gain, your dreams, your fucking ass.
I'm not a fan of the dimension here, so we'll take it out. Let's try some harmony, just to see how this module works. I don't want it here, but just to try it.
Your scares, your fatal blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore.
This is actually nice.
Your scares, your fatal blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you.
This is nice. We have two unison and -16. This is a standard doubler, basically, pretty much. Pitch correction, variation, time, and pitch variation are at 20%. And we have voices and pitch correction of the voices at 0. We leave it at 0. I want to try add something.
Your scares, your fatal blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your gain, your dreams, your fucking ass.
And this is nice that you can just drag your voices here.
Your scares, your fatal blindness.
And this is, you can see is pan and gain. So this is the pan axis and this is the gain axis. So I'm just gonna pan it really wide.
Your scares, your fatal blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your gain, your dreams, your fucking ass. You know you are just like me.
This I like. Really subtle. Let's put it like a 10%. And that should be it.
Your scares, your favorite blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can.
That is nice. Without all the processing.
Your scares, your favorite blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You.
Great. Last touch is a little bit of delay again. Let me mute the track. Let's get the tempo right for this song. We should be right about there. Let's see where we are. Okay, that's good. Let me select what algorithm I want. The digital we see is a bit crusher, so not right for this song. Let me mute the music for now.
Nothing anymore. Just look at you. Your game, your dreams, your fucking game.
Oh, that's nice. It's echo. It's nice. I like the analog too, though. You hear how not only the tone and the distortion changes with the different algorithms in the delay, but also the decay. I don't know. The echo is nice. It's really vintagey. I want it a little bit darker, though.
You're scared, your favorite blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your game, your dreams, your fucking ass.
That is not bad at all. Let's put the feedback a little lower and try to do a static setting for this EQ. We did automation on the male vocal.
You're scared, your favorite blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your game, your dreams, your fucking ass. You know you are just like me. Look at the mirror now. It's just like me.
You know, we can do an automation really quickly on this one, just from verses to chorus, and leave it at 15%. In the verses, just go higher from here on out. Let me bypass the groups and go something like 30%. Let's see how it sounds. We'll do quick transition.
Your favorite blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your game, your dreams, your fucking ass. You know.
Let's turn it down by 5.
Your favorite blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your game, your dreams, your fucking ass. You know you are just like me. Look at the mirror now.
Turn it down on the chorus a little bit, make it more subtle. Again, I would do automation on this delay word by word, but you know, we did it on the male vocal. I don't want to make the video too long.
You can feel
Okay, and I guess here we are. I mean, this is pretty much it. The vocal assistant works so well in giving us not just a starting point, but a halfway or more than halfway a mixed vocal with and without.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your gain, your dreams, your fucking ass. You know you are just like me. Look at the mirror now. It's just like me. You know, sure that you can feel this is reality. Can shoot away.
And granted, she is an amazing talent. Every time I hear her voice, it's like gives me shiver. But yeah, Nectar 3, Izotope, vocal processor. It's brilliant to have all this processing, all these great sounding modules in one plugin. And of course, if you think about it, Izotope had these modules, these kind of algorithms in its high-end plugins, mastering grade plugins. So it's normal, they just put them together, optimize it for vocals, and this is the result, and it's very impressive. The vocal assistant is very impressive too. Let me try really quickly the Unmask. Now, if you want to use the Unmask feature, you add a relay plugin by Izotope, of course, on the music track, you can see, and open Nectar, vocal assistant, and Unmask. And it will carve out space for the vocal by comparing it to another audio track and correcting frequency masking. We click on vocal assistant, we bypass the assistant for now, and we just use the Unmask to see how that works. Click next, select the instrumental track, of course, to compare to our vocal, and play audio.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do not. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your gain, your dreams, your fucking ass. You know you are just like me.
And you can see the Unmask on the relay plugin on the instrumental track is working based on what it hears on the verse, on the vocal track.
You're scared, you favor blindness. You laugh, and all around it is a mess. You can, but you do nothing anymore. Just look at you, your gain, your dreams, your fucking ass. You know you are just like me. Look at the mirror now.
Now I would adjust the overall level for this, you know, because it's a little too much, a little too upfront, especially for a track like this, where there's only piano and drums and vocals. Maybe on a trap beat, something like that, when you want the vocals really upfront, everything. I don't know. But yeah, the Unmask can be useful. It's not my favorite feature, to be honest, but everything else is absolutely fantastic on Izotope Nectar 3 vocal processor. This is it for this video, guys. If you liked it, if it was useful, please leave us a like. All questions about this, about vocals, about mixing, about anything else, leave it in the comment down below. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, because in there I almost daily give you guys quick tips and advice on mixing, on new plugins, my first impression, what's going on with the channel, updates, and everything else. If you want to get Nectar at the best price out there, links is gonna be in the info box down below with our special discount. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you haven't already, and see you next time.